Welcome YouTubers to another video. Today we got a 2002 Volkswagen Passat V6 with a random misfire. We're going to change the coil packs out today. So I thought it'd just be a quick video to show you. It shouldn't take too long. And we'll get this thing on the road. Keep watching. Okay, so our first step is to remove the giant plastic cover. Hopefully we'll get better camera. Again, sorry guys for the rough angles here, but this should give you a pretty good idea of what we're doing here. Alright, so let's start with the cover. So we got these little plastic screw tabs. They're just half turn and they pop up. This piece lifts right off. Right here is the coil pack we're talking about changing out. These plug wires should be labeled, but we're just going to do it the easy way. Just kind of move them off to the side. It really doesn't matter as far as what we number them at this point, because we're going to just put them back where we took them off. If you want to, like I say, you can number them. I ain't worried too much about it. Sometimes these get a little stuck on there. Usually twisting them a little bit will help you. There we go. As long as you try and keep them lined up, you really don't need to label them. If you feel more comfortable, label them, great. Sometimes just taking this little suction in there. Of course, when we're videoing, it's always going to be more of a struggle. Be really careful with this tube in front of me here. This is really brittle plastic. Easily be broken as I'm jamming this thing back and forth. Sure, it didn't look too gentle, but I'm actually not pushing too hard on it. Just getting that screwdriver underneath it really makes a difference. This thing here, it isn't a constant misfire either. It's a random deal. We're going to replace the plug wires probably in a week here. They didn't come yet, and I just want to be able to let my daughter keep driving this car. Biggest struggle I got right now is trying not to knock my camera over so you guys can keep seeing what I'm doing. You can do it. Alright, we got a little Torx here. First we're going to get the connector off. Okay guys, next we're going to do is take off this connector. You know, we're going to show something different. A lot of times these connectors, they got a little plastic tab, they break off really easy. Normally you want to unhook that connector first, but we're going to do, so if you're doing this the first time, it might be easier just to take this off. So we're going to remove these 4 bolts first. There's a nut on this one holding this little electrical deal on. Pull this off here. It's nice to have a little magnetic tray just so you don't lose any bolts. I probably should have one over here, but it's just 4 bolts today, so we're not going to be too concerned about it. It's a good idea to always have a little small magnet too for reaching in and getting some of this stuff in case you do drop one. And the stud here, remember, put the stud back in the right spot so we can get the electrical bracket put back on there. Okay, so now we got this loose. We got our plug wires where we want them. Like I said, you probably want to label them if you're new to this, just to keep in order. Obviously here, it's a pretty good idea where these go because of the length, but pay attention to that stuff. Label it. It takes 2 seconds to label it if you're just not good at remembering where stuff was. Again, instead of trying to fight that connector, not being able to see what you're doing, you pretty much just flip it upside down. The little electrical tab there, we just got to lift this bracket up over it and it slides right out. Where you're trying to do that blindly, a lot of times guys will pry up too much on it and they'll break the plastic, and then you got a mess because the connector won't stay on. Here's our new part. I know on eBay, or at the parts store, they want $170, $190 for this, I think. Got this on eBay, brand new for, I think, or Amazon, I think this time, for, I think it was $46. So it's worth waiting a day or two if you can. Save a little money. Alright, so remember, we're going to put our stud back in this front corner first. So remember where that one goes. The other 3 don't matter. They're all the same length. Always pay attention to that. Sometimes you get a longer bolt in a different area. Just hey guys, sorry I had to move my light a little bit. They're just warning you guys not to do. I dropped one of the bolts down there, of course. So luckily I keep a bunch of metric bolts here because I couldn't find it at the second. So we put a new one in there. Ran my magnet around down there a little bit, but never hurts to save a bunch of bolts, especially on the metric stuff. You can't really run to the hardware store and get everything you need all the time. As you can see, tighten these 4 up. Good and tight. Just not too tight. You don't want to snap them off. Learn the hard way. Any time. Okay, then we put our little electrical clip back on here. And our stud post. Tighten that one down. Plug our electrical connector back in. Let's just do this here. Loosen this up just a little bit here. Alright, now tighten this up. Really, the tools we needed for this was basically a flat blade screwdriver, a 10mm socket and a ratchet. Remember, as I said earlier, watch your lengths of your wires here. I'm not sure to number them as we said earlier. As you can see, this isn't too all difficult. Make sure you hear them click in. There we go. It hurts to double check. I'm going to go to our front side here. As you can see, the link's pretty easy to figure out which ones go where. That's not always the case. So again, as I repeat myself 100 times, number them, number them, number them. Take pictures on your phone. Always helps. Alright, all we got left to do is put our fancy cover back on. And this job is done. To sit right where you had it. There we go. I think lining these stupid things up is the hardest part of the job. There we go, guys. That's how quick that is. We'll just fire it up, make sure everything's running good. Hopefully my camera won't fall off the side of the car here. Okay guys, well thanks for watching. That's another quick video just changing the coil pack on this 2002 Volkswagen Passat V6. Watch for more videos to come. Please click that like button and the subscribe so we can keep getting more videos out to you. Thanks again.